Speaking of aging poorly, Lucas, I have sent you just the picture of Asian Ariana Grande in case you didn't believe how Asian she tried to be.
Oh my god! Fucking hell.
That's bad, right?
Hello there, and a warm welcome to all the guys, gals, and non-binary pals watching. This is another episode of Wiki Weekends, and I'm your host today, Lucas Holland. And I am joined, as ever, by the lovely Karl Smallwood.
Hello.
And Karl, on Wiki Weekends, we just find a wiki to take a deep dive on. We keep swimming until we find something fun to talk about. And today, just inspired by the fact that, surprise, surprise, kids wanted to see the Minecraft movie, I was like, I'm going to talk about my favourite Jack Black film.
Oh, so we're talking about Mars Attacks.
Oh yeah, he is in that movie.
I surrender!
But no, I am talking about my, childhood Jack Black film, and that is School of Rock.
Let's rock today.
I know some people have, really, turned on Jack Black lately. The betrayal of Kyle Gass might be, for many people, the reason why. Not betrayal of Kyle, the betrayal on Kyle.
It was just so fucked up, wasn't it? Of, all Kyle Gass did was go and say, hey, that Donald Trump dude, bit of a dickhead, and Jack Black immediately dissolved the 25-year partnership because he wanted to keep getting movie roles.
Which he continues to do. He just looked at Kyle and went, which money train is the money train I want to board? And just got on, the movie train and threw Kyle underneath.
Chicken jockey!
That aside, we're not going to focus on that today. We're just going to, try and remember the time where, oh, hey, Jack Black's this goofy guy from a film called School of Rock. But yeah, let us know what your favourite Jack Black film is, because this man has done, maybe an underappreciated attempt at being in people's childhoods for the last, 30 plus years.
Yeah, speaking of which, a couple of episodes ago, we talked about Monk, and I asked the audience, could they tell us an actor they think fits the bill of a character actor, because we don't really have character actors anymore. Mm-hmm. And the amount of people who were suggesting, well, Jack Black would be our generation's equivalent of Danny DeVito. It's Jack Black's 60. He's in his 50s, right?
I think he's 55-ish at the time of recording, yeah.
And I was just astounded at the amount of people who were what I specifically asked for, name a younger actor who could fit the bill of a Danny DeVito style character. And people's response is, well, that actor who's 50. Well, that's not much better.
I guess a lot of the people watching our content are around our age, so they're kind of right in the sense of our generations, maybe not the current generation's character.
I just found it interesting though of, hey, can you name an actor in his 30s who could, if you were casting a Danny DeVito style role, play that role? And I was well, Jack Black's but I didn't ask for a 50-year-old actor.
That was the answer when we were kids and School of Rock came out, right?
Surviving good time.
Could you stop that, please?
Yeah.
I can't, off the top of my head, think, and as you say, in the comments to that video, pretty much everyone was naming people that are 40 plus years old, 50 plus years old.
Yeah, so in that vein, let's just ask the question again, but say, who would you get to play a Jack Black-like role who's not Jack Black? And hopefully the name is at least...
as of 2025, in their 20s or 30s.
Yeah.
And not, just super conventionally attractive.
Yeah, because that was the question, character actors, people who aren't, they don't fit the standard Hollywood mould.
Which, not to say Jack Black's, an ugly guy or anything, but he certainly stands out in, the lineup of all the other Hollywood A-star actors, right?
Well, I just think, the premiere of the Mario movie, we got, Anna Taylor-Joy looking, absolutely fucking flawless, standing next to Jack Black.
In, the cool Bowser outfit that he got, the cool Bowser suit. I am also pissed off about the Kyle Gass thing, don't get me wrong.
He didn't even warn him that the bus was coming.
No. It was the day after. He laughed at the joke on stage, and then the day after was I regret my actions.
So he didn't even warn about the bus that was coming. It's okay, if you're not going to warn about the bus, you at least not, then he shot him in the knee. The amount of, then he got in the bus as a passenger as he went over Kyle Gass. It's come on, Jack.
Anyway, going back to School of Rock.
Yes.
It is School of Rock, titled on screen as The School of Rock, is a 2003 comedy film directed by Richard Linklater, produced by Scott Rudin, and written by Mike White. I was going to say, that has nothing to do with, like, the White Stripes, right? And it's like, oh no, Mike White is the guy that plays his roommate who's married or in a relationship with Sarah Silverman.
Ned, aren't you tired of letting people push you around?
Yes.
Then get in there and do it.
Is that the character you feel most sorry for in the film? School of Rock is a weird film. So when you go back, like when you're a kid and you watch it, you're like, oh man, that guy's wife is such a bitch. And then you go back and rewatch it, and what is a chief complaint is, you've got a roommate who doesn't pay fucking rent who stole your identity. That's a very valid complaint.
Your roommate is not just like, oh, the goofy, schlubby guy that doesn't have a job. It's like, no, he's committed fraud in order to, like, kidnap children and take them to a rock show, and like the litany of crimes that Jack Black must have committed technically within this movie.
Sarah Silverman is like the Peter Serafinowicz role in Shaun of the Dead, right? Where he's played as this arsehole. When you watch it when you're like, 18, 20 years old, it's like, oh, Peter Serafinowicz, what a prick. When you're our age, like in our 30s, and you watch Shaun of the Dead, Peter Serafinowicz becomes a much more relatable character. It's like, I'm at work in the morning, it's 3 a.m, you're playing fucking techno, and the door is open.
Yeah.
It's 4 in the fucking morning! It's Saturday! No, it's not. It's fucking Sunday. And I've got to go to fucking work in 4 fucking hours because every other fucker in my fucking department is fucking ill. Now, can you see why I'm so fucking angry? Fuck yeah!
Similar to Shaun of the Dead, you see it from the protagonist's viewpoint of like...
You do.
Oh man, get rid of your girlfriend, man. Like, she just keeps tearing me down. She's such a bitch. It's like, dude, get a job. Please. Pay some fucking rent.
If you don't come up with some money, she's gonna dump me. She's fed up.
Really? Because that would be a good thing. She's a nightmare.
Come on! I may never have another girlfriend. I mean, just come on! Come up with some money, please!
The amount of, like I said, the crimes that he commits, it's, and obviously it's played for a joke, it's a comedy movie, it's a slightly elevated universe, but if you actually break down the plot of that movie, it's horrifying. He essentially robs an entire class full of children in their formative years of almost an entire year of education.
I don't think it's like an entire year, but I'm sure the plot will like...
It's a couple of months though, right?
The plot must get into it, but I'm pretty sure it is like, hey, the Battle of the Bands is in a few months' time. We need to focus in now. And it's like, yeah, it must be an entire, semester in America, right?
It's also worth noting that Jack Black's character doesn't really have an arc, because... And I think it's summed up by the fact that, like, when he discovers that the kids are really good at instruments, and he tries to... There's a part where he's talking about, like, we're going to do things that are going to make you guys stand out. We're going to give you all confidence, but he still gives himself the guitar solo.
Oh, yeah, of course, and that's the point of it, right, is that he makes it all about himself, and that, like... I've got the picture of the... I was about to say, like, the cover art, and it's, like, him with the guitar and the kids in the background, and that's essentially what it is. It's, like, a selfish asshole that doesn't care about his friend, doesn't care about his friend's career, doesn't care about his friend's relationship, doesn't care about these kids. He just wants to give a shit about himself, win the Battle of Bands, and make his old bandmates feel bad for kicking him out of his band.
He has the same arc as a character in an Adam Sandler movie, where the last 5 minutes, they just add a bunch of schmaltz in to make you feel like the movie had a message. It's like, throughout the film, his character is just a selfish arsehole who only cares about himself.
Yeah, and the obviously spoilers for the movie that's 22 years old. Like, the end of the movie is just, oh, actually, all the parents came along and enjoyed the gig. So they all, like, let him set up a school of rock, and now his job is just teaching them all music. It's just,
It is growth in a sense, right? But do you know what I feel most sorry for? The parents of the kids who Jack Black's like, hey, what can we do? You'll be the groupies.
Obviously, he does not do, like, there's no sexualness in their role as quote-unquote groupies.
And, like, it's part of his character that he realises all the kids have talents. But what about the kids who is like, well, you can do the light show?
Considering this is like an early 2000s comedy, there is a lot of wholesomeness in the fact that he's like, I accept each individual kid for who they are and, like, let's lean into their talents. But
yes,
it mustn't feel great when it's like, well, here's the 5 important people, and now you guys can get fucked off.
What are the rest of us supposed to do?
You just sit back and enjoy the magic of rock!
You mean we're not in a band?
There is a little bit of growth in that sense of he does learn that, like, oh, the kids that aren't necessarily the best at the traditional rock setup type instruments, they're not just useless for this project. It's like, oh, hey, they all have their own individual talents and skills, but also he doesn't get past the point of, but this is all still for me. Like, he kind of does, he kind of makes it about them as a whole group by the end of it, but he's still just like,
the one on stage,
man,
right
I
up at the
want
front.
to be the one who's like the starring role of the band and beat my band, like my ex-bandmates.
Yeah, I feel like the film, it would have been much better if, at the end, Jack Black would have walked off the stage and let the kids do the encore.
Yeah.
Like, let them do the encore because they no longer need him.
I think the closest they come is like they get to perform their song, right?
Yeah.
Rather than it just being the song that he wrote, being about, again, all about him.
The artist must be true, but the legend of the rent was way past due.
And it reminds me a little bit, I'm not sure if you've ever found the clip, but it's there's like a couple of examples that have gone viral on like the subreddit I'm the Main Character. And it's like drama teachers in American high schools giving themselves the leads of plays and musicals. The footage is as cringy as you're imagining it, of like, you'll have like literal children on stage. It's a fully grown adult just walking up on stage to sing the solo. And it's like, it's not about you.
Every time you are near, just like me, they long to be.
And that's what the real life equivalent of this movie would be, right?
Yeah.
You know, as I say, this movie came out in 2003, so I was around 11 years old when this came out, and just...
You also played drums, right?
Not the time.
Not the time, okay.
This movie did help me realise that, hey, because at the time I was doing keyboard lessons, and I was like, hey, that keyboard kid sucks, like, I want to be the kid on the drums.
Well, oddly enough, I have a connection to this in a way. So my little cousin, Sam Bickmore, you can find him on YouTube under like at Sam Bickmore. I'll find the link and send it to you. He's like one of the... I'm not sure the exact qualification he has, but do you know, like drumming is measured, you can get qualifications or whatever it would be in drumming. He's like the max level of that. He's been on the news as like one of the youngest people in Britain to have this award for being really good at drums. He was actually in the stage performance of School of Rock.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
As the drummer. And he does like covers of a bunch of songs, including one he did of like the drums from Africa, where he won of like wearing a Fact Fiend t-shirt that I gave him.
Oh, cool. And that is one thing to note is the kids, I believe, all performed in this, like part of the casting process was getting some children that could actually play these musical instruments.
What's the point otherwise, right?
Yeah. But you know that certain movies would just like try and get around it, right? And just put in the performances later.
Oh, you'd Freaky Friday it, where it's like Lindsay Lohan is supposedly in a band, and and Jamie Lee Curtis is in a body, and neither Jamie Lee Curtis nor Lindsay Lohan can play guitar.
Yeah.
So they have to edit around it.
So I was just thinking of all the times you see that people, you know, playing video games.
Oh.
It's like, no, what are you doing?
Nah, mate, you'll never beat that moment in, I think it's NCIS, where there's a hacker hacking into the police. And to, like, unhack their system, two people use the same keyboard. That's the real shit.
Burn through the NCIS public firewall.
Well, isolate the node and dump them on the other side of the router.
I'm trying. It's moving too fast.
Oh, this is not good. We're using our connection to the APHIS database. Sever it.
I can't. It's a point attack.
When I say, by the way, that, like, I thought the keyboard kid was a loser, I mean, in terms of, like, as a kid, I was watching that going, I don't want to be the one that plays on the keyboard. I want to be the one that hits the drums.
Yeah. The heart of the band, right? No band realistically can exist without a drummer unless you're like, you know, a very specific kind of setup. But no traditional setup of a band can exist without a drummer. Even like you mentioned the White Stripes earlier.
Mm-hmm.
A two-person band. One of those people is a drummer.
Generally, most like duo bands still have a drummer, right?
Yeah,
it's pretty core to the experience of rock. But the film stars Jack Black, Joan Cusack, Mike White, it just said White there, that threw me off of it, just White, and Sarah Silverman. And Black plays struggling rock guitarist Dewey Finn, who is fired from his band and subsequently poses as a substitute teacher at a prestigious prep school. And Dewey Finn doesn't get fired from his band just out of nowhere. Bear in mind that he keeps doing, like, stage dives into random dive bar crowds that aren't hyped from him doing, like, 10-minute solos and ruining the entire gig.
It's like the entire band revolves around him. Like, he is Axl Rosing it up of, like, I am the band. And I can imagine if I was in a band of, like, 4 or 5 people, and one member of your band is just a massive abrasive dickhead, and they're not talented enough to back it up.
Even they say, look, you're a good guitar player, but you're just an asshole, basically.
It's not that we don't think you're good, it's just you're an asshole and we don't want to hang around with you anymore.
You're a good guitar player, but it's the 20-minute solos, it's the stage dives. We're trying to land a record deal here, man, and you're an embarrassment.
That's one thing when you are in Guns N' Roses and you're Axl Rose and you're playing to stadiums full of people. You're going to find musicians that will put up with you being an arsehole to play to a stadium full of people and get all that money.
And as well, you got the excuse of, well, why is Axl Rose pretending he is the band? Well, it's called Guns N' Roses, he kind of is.
You could do a 10-minute guitar solo if you happen to have a crowd that are, like, massively into your shit. But clearly that is not the case, right? It shows you their performance at, like, the start of the movie, and it's just people being like, yeah.
So I think it's when I went to watch Sum 41 play, probably one of the best gigs I've been to in a while, like Sum 41. And just the lead singer of Sum 41 is like, people don't know this, but, like, you know, we as a band really love heavy metal, but we're not going to cover a heavy metal song because we know the bit you want to listen to. Let's play Master of Puppets. And the entire band played the guitar solo from Master of Puppets. And went, okay, here's In Too Deep.
Sum 41 performed well. One of the worst gig experiences I ever had in my life. It was one of the last times I ever went and, like, pushed my way to the front of a crowd.
Oh, you fool.
And that used to be my thing. Like, I would always be one of the people right in the first couple of people, right at the front, getting, like, crushed against the barriers. Every gig. I'd do it all the time. And at Sum 41, whatever reason, I was in the wrong part. And the crowd for Sum 41 was surprisingly rough because there's a lot more metal in the catalogue of Sum 41 that you would expect if you're, like, familiar with just their, like, mid-2000s range, right?
Yeah, they became like a heavy metal band for a little bit.
And before their pop-punk stuff, they were also in, like, more of a metal band as well. The moment the first song started, I was seemingly just at perfect elbow height for everyone around me, got my glasses knocked off my face within about 30 seconds, was like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna, you know, put my glasses in my partner's handbag. I'll kind of see just blurriness and listen to the music.
Yep.
And then maybe a song or two in, I got elbowed right in the temple and nearly got knocked clean out. And I had to just go recover at, like, the bar, sit down there for a while, and then just, like, stood right at the fucking back because it was far too brutal. And that was one of the worst gig experiences I've ever had in my life.
I never really go to the front because I'm quite tall and I'm keenly aware, and I don't go to many big gigs either.
Keenly aware you might elbow other people around you in the face.
Or be in for someone's way. Like I went to recently, a good friend of mine went to see the singer Rory.
Oh yes, yeah.
Wasn't particularly my scene, but, you know, they wanted a friend to go with them. It's like, fuck it, yeah, if you've got a spare ticket, I'll go. And while we were, like, looking for somewhere to stand, they're like, oh, do you want to go close to the front? It's like, I'm going to be in someone's way. It's like, you can go to the front, but I am just very conscious of that I will be in someone's way. And they went, no, you won't. And we went a little bit forward into the area to watch, and within 30 seconds I got a tap on the shoulder, like, do you mind moving, mate? My girlfriend can't see. I went, yeah, I'll go stand at the back.
And that's fair. Like, you're tall enough where you can actually see from the back.
Yes.
I can barely see from the front. I'm 5'7", so I'm just like, even when I get near the front, there's always the tall people just that find their way there.
There's a very funny thing that happened because during the set, the singer, one of her, like, acoustic numbers, she went up onto the balcony where people were stood and did the acoustic number up there, and it was the balcony directly above where I was stood. And, like, the official photographer got a photo of it, And my friend is not in the photograph because they're too short, but I am. But because I didn't really know the song, I'm just looking around. So do you know like that bit from The Simpsons where it's like Bart and it just says like local gays show their pride? And it's just Bart stood there not knowing why he's there. I look like that.
We've kind of gone over most of the plot of the movie anyway. It's a very basic movie. It's just he poses as a substitute teacher because Sarah Silverman keeps telling him to get some money and get a job.
It's great how she's the villain, right?
I will just pretend to be your partner, like Ned Schneebly, which unfortunate last name, Schneebly.
Why don't you write your name on the board?
Yes. Yes, I will. You know what? Why don't y'all just call me Mr. S?
He just poses him, is like, make the money out to do your thing. I'm going to go kidnap your children now. So hang on, what? But, yeah, it just says, after witnessing the musical talent of the students, Dewey forms a band of 5th graders to attempt to win the upcoming Battle of the Bands and uses winnings to pay his rent. And also, you know, when he figures out that his ex-band in the Battle of the Bands, he also does it as like a spiteful play against them as well, right?
Which in effect just shows why you wouldn't want that guy in your band, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's his response? Is it like, you know, did it humble him? Did he go away thinking maybe I'm an arsehole and I should grow as a person? It's like, no, fuck those guys.
It's weird, right? Because like everyone around me keeps telling me that I'm a knobhead and a bad guy. Maybe everyone else is the problem. It's like, yep, good job, Dewey.
Well, it's the old saying, isn't it? If you run into one arsehole, you probably run into an arsehole. If you run into arseholes all morning, you're probably there's one like common thread there, and it's you.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was released on October 3rd, 2023, 2003, by Paramount Pictures, grossing $131 million worldwide on a $35 million budget. It received positive reviews from critics, with praise for Black's performance and humour. It was the highest grossing music-themed comedy of all time until the release of Pitch Perfect 2 in 2015. And then, as you mentioned, there's also been a musical adaptation opened on Broadway, which happened in December 2015. And then also there was a television adaptation aired for 3 seasons on Nickelodeon from March 2016 to April 2018.
I can see that working as a Nickelodeon series, because there was that one that Ariana Grande, right, that she was in before she got famous. Is it like Victorious?
Ah, yes, yeah, that's it.
Which I'm going to recommend, just go look up the song, Take a Hint, because that song has lived in my head rent-free. It's a bop, and it's annoying how good a bop it is, because it was made for like this bubblegum pop written for a TV show. But there's a line in it of like, if I had a quarter for every name you just dropped, you'd be alone and I'd be on a yacht. And it's like, that's so good. It's like, oh, you asked me what my sign is, I told you it was stop. And it's like, oh, that's such a good line, damn it.
Someone who's not in the band, but the highest kind of like cast member in terms of the children here was also a Nickelodeon star, and that's Miranda Cosgrove, who...
oh, yeah, she's in that, right?
Yeah, she was like the kind of almost like prefect girl role, who was like the, you know, suck up of the class, so to speak, and just she's the one who keeps threatening to like call him the fuck out, basically. It's like, I don't think that you're a substitute teacher.
I got a headache and the runs, so I say time for recess.
But Mr. S, that poster charts everyone's performance. We get gold stars when we master the material covered in class. How do we get gold stars if we just have recess?
And she's like, again, played as like the minor antagonist where she's trying to harsh his buzz, and all she's doing is like, hey, this is a prep school, my parents are paying thousands of dollars for us to get a top-notch education. You are robbing us of that.
And then he's like, no, you're such like a Debbie Downer, just calm down, it's fine, we're gonna learn about music. Miranda Cosgrove, if you don't remember, like Drake and Josh, and then into like iCarly, and iCarly is not the same or like related to Drake and Josh. I think it just rolled straight from like Drake and Josh into iCarly.
Yeah, man. One day we'll talk about Drake and Josh. Like, speaking of like good writing, so I'll never like one of my favourite jokes is just like when there's a knock on the door and Josh answers the door and it's like a package and the delivery man is like, oh, have a nice day, and the delivery man's like, don't tell me what to do. I've always just found it's because it's so out of pocket.
The rest of the kids, like, none of them have, like, the blue link to click on because they were kind of all just one and done for the most part. I think it was just, like, they were all just talented kids who were in this one film and kind of pretty much none of them went on to go and be actors from the looks of it. It seems like it was a pretty wholesome set and stuff because they've done like reunions and stuff over time. And I remember seeing as well that like two of the kids who met on set ended up like being married, and they're like a married couple now.
And they invited a bunch of the cast members like to their wedding or their like the photos they took for it. I think 'cause I saw that like post go viral, like one of those like feel good stories a couple of years ago.
So it's nice that seemingly, for once, there's a set where there's a story of a bunch of kids on set and things seemingly were, like, done quite well and everything resolved quite nicely. It's like, thank God.
Yeah, we're not going to be talking about, like, Dan Harmon Productions. Like, that's a Wikipedia link that'll stay unclicked because it's too much to get into, and this is a comedy series where we try and keep it light, and that shit is anything but.
Yes, there are other places to already, find out information if you want to talk about that, but that is not for us.
I think it's Jeanette McCurdy. Want to double check? Jeanette McCurdy. Go read her book. I'm Glad My Mum Is Dead. Which is what it's called, and the cover of like, I'm Glad My Mum Died, and it's her holding her mum's ashes on the cover, and it's like an expose of like the Nickelodeon days of the absolute fucking shitstorm it was. And how like exploitative it was for young actresses like herself.
And that's the person who was on the show with Ariana Grande, right? And talking about...
Well, she was on iCarly.
Oh, she was on iCarly as well. Okay.
Yeah.
I think she was on a show with Ariana Grande and talks about how, like, the double standards Ariana Grande got.
Like, a lot of those, like, Nickelodeon stars, like, kind of, like, works on other stuff.
And not to, like, that's not an attack necessarily against Ariana. She was also a kid. It's, like... the way that her as a child and a pop star, as well as being on Nickelodeon stuff, like, got just treated very differently and stuff. I can't remember whether it was that person talking about them or somebody else, but I kind of recognise the name.
The only thing I remember about Ariana Grande is like just it's a post that went around that fucking put me on my ass, and it's just Ariana Grande is the last race bender. Where just the amount of times where she's like rebranded, not as like Madonna and it's like different or Cher, where it's different eras. She just legit rebranded as like a different race.
Yeah, I saw something. I think it must have been this year. It can't have been last year, but it was like a kid for like just a teacher being on TikTok of like, my kid wanted to talk about like Ariana Grande for Black History Month. What do I tell them? Like, I don't know what to do.
It's just a photo of like Ariana Grande, the last race bender.
Moving on, Carl. We're gonna go straight to the soundtrack here.
Let's go, because there is one interesting story about the soundtrack.
There is, which it does have listed here. The soundtrack is just the School of Rock soundtrack, and it was released on September 30th, 2003. Sammy James Jr. of the band The Moonies Suzuki penned the title track with screenwriter Mike White, and the band backed up Jack Black and the child musicians on the soundtrack recording of the song. The film's director, Richard Linklater, scouted the country for talented 13-year-old musicians to play rock and roll music featured on the soundtrack and in the film. And then probably the fact that you were going to bring up, Carl,
yes,
is that the soundtrack includes Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin, a band that has a very long history of denying permission for use of their songs in film and television.
Yes, so you can go find the clip of this. It's on YouTube. It's just like one of the DVD extras of...
Try and put it in here if I can.
Well, you'd have to find the clip of the song. Jack Black got the entire cast, including all the kids and the producers and stuff, to basically just record a 3-minute long begging video, begging Led Zeppelin for permission to use the song, and just sent it to the lead singer of the band.
Lords of Rock, Led Zeppelin! Grace us with your mighty love!
Jack Black's, he's in the music industry, and also, if we just film him begging with, like, hundreds of people to, like, please, Led Zeppelin, please, just let us put you in the movie.
Well, there's a couple of examples of that from like movie history. One of my favourite examples, one of my favourite like musical comedy films, is Wayne's World, where they wanted to put in the iconic like Bohemian Rhapsody moment, where it's them headbanging in the car. They got to use that for free. Mike Myers managed to get a hold of the band just before Freddie Mercury passed away. And Freddie Mercury's like, oh, I love your stuff. They recorded the scene, sent it to Freddie Mercury, and apparently it's one of the last things he saw before he died, and he laughed when he saw it. And as a result, they got permission to use it for nothing. Like Freddie Mercury's like, yeah, give him it.
Okay. I thought you were going to bring up a different song, which I believe is like edited out, which is Stairway to Heaven.
Well, they use like the first 7 seconds. They make a joke because apparently it's a long-running frustration for people in guitar shops that people walk in and play the first lick to Stairway to Heaven. And they have a meta joke in the film where like, Wayne picks up a guitar, tries to play it, and the guy selling the guitar's like, hey, no Stairway.
However, if you watch the movie nowadays, I believe Stairway to Heaven's been cut out, and he just starts playing random notes, and then he points to the Stairway to Heaven song.
He plays like a generic like riff instead of like Stairway to Heaven, because they couldn't even get away with using that amount of the song.
Yeah.
Even as a joke, which actually makes the joke funnier to me.
No stairway. Denied.
They've had to take out Stairway to Heaven, so he starts by not playing Stairway to Heaven, and then they still leave in the joke of like, hey, no stairway. Most of these like music clips I can't put in actual music of because we're just gonna get struck down. Like they couldn't get these Led Zeppelin songs in films, let alone a YouTube video.
It's just really funny, right?
But I will mention songs featured in the film. I'll just go through like some of the bands that are mentioned here. Like there's AC/DC, No Vacancy, The Clash, The Doors, a Ramones cover by Kiss, Cream, more AC/DC, Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, Who, Metallica, Darkness, Led Zeppelin, The Black Keys.
That seems a bit modern, but sure.
Yeah, they're from 2001. That was early Black Keys. God. Stevie Nicks, T-Rex, David Bowie, The Velvet Underground. And yeah, there's a couple of other artists that I'm like less familiar with in there as well. But yeah, just...
It's a pretty fucking bopping soundtrack.
A lot of big bands featured in that soundtrack.
Probably didn't hurt that, as you mentioned. Jack Black had connections to the music industry. That probably helps like smooth a lot of that over.
Yeah, of course. And I am not going to be surprised if like most people's, favourite movie that they comment is just Pick of Destiny, based on like the age range of our audience, which might be the best like Jack Black film, depending on your type of comedy. That's a very out there type of comedy, so I can see how that's a swing and a miss for a lot of people.
There it is. Fuck-a-luck-a-ding-dong.
I prefer Kung Fu Panda, that'd be my pick. Or Mars Attacks, just because I think Mars Attacks is bad, but in a funny way.
I mean, you can't really say that's a Jack Black film, though.
He's in it.
He's in it. I was thinking in my head, like, when he plays a leading or starring role.
Okay, yeah. In which case it would be Kung Fu Panda then.
And for me, it is probably just School of Rock, because this was a film that, as a kid, this was one of my go-to films that I just put on loop in the background and just, like, play some Game Boy or something like that, The amount of times I'd just play Pokemon and have the same, like, 6 VHS copies or DVD copies, like, running in the background, depending on the year. I guess the kind of biggest revision that you'd see in terms of, like, your thoughts on watching the film, as you say, is just the Sarah Silverman girlfriend character becoming way more relatable, as well as the headmistress. Yeah. Of just these people being like, this dude is a liability, what the fuck?
He's a liability nightmare, we don't want him around.
Yeah. So what do you mean kidnapping children to become part of the Battle of the Bands is like, not okay? What are you on about?
What do you mean identity theft?
Yeah, like literal just fraud on, as you say, months-long basis. This film, for the most part, is just like, it's a kid's film, right? And it's mostly very wholesome, and as I say, has like multiple good scenes of just Jack Black or Dewey Finn, just as much as he is a fuck up, the heart of gold type character where you want to forgive them because, hey, he tells most of these kids, if not all of the kids, that he finds different ways to kind of have a moment with them where he tells them, like, no, man, you're cool for who you are, and you should continue to thrive being the person that you are and not feel ashamed about your insecurities and stuff.
And the characters are paper thin, but they're well-worn, like, characters that you see in any other movie. Like, the characters you see in The Mighty Ducks are no different than the character archetypes you see in this. You have, like, the tough kid, you have, like, the tough girl, you have, like, the effeminate kid, who he calls, like, fantasy pants right throughout the movie.
Yeah, maybe. So, like, there's stuff like that where, he comes up with a bunch of nicknames for them. Like, there's, like, Tinkerbell, Zacata... I don't know if I should say this, or I'm going to say it, and then you tell me whether to leave it in.
Okay.
Spazzy McGee.
It was the 2000s.
Yeah, there's Posh Spice, Mr. Cool, Turkey Sub, Brace Face, Blondie, Fancy Pants, Roadrunner, Carrot Top, Tough Guy, Shortstop.
And that is funny, I guess, but it's never going to top Parks and Rec's version of it, is it? If, like, just Chris Pratt, like, okay, I'm Eagle 1, and then we have Been There, Done That. And then we have if I had to think about it, Chris will be If It Had to Be a Dude, and Ben is Eagle 2. He's like, oh, thank God. Right?
Anne, code name, been there, done that. April is currently doing that. Donna is It Happened Once in a Dream. Chris, code name, If I Had to Pick a Dude. Ben is Eagle 2.
Oh, thank God.
Oh god, the one that always gets me is like the one that's taken out of like the back shots joke, which I can't remember off the top of my head, but is like a deleted scene which I'll put in right now.
Everyone loves a good comeback story, right? Seabiscuit, the Mighty Ducks,
Robert Downey Jr. Who
Rocky.
else? Yes.
Kim Kardashian.
Well,
in the video she gets come on her back, I think.
The other one is like, I checked your computer and it says you have network connectivity problems, which is apparently ad-libbed, and the writers got really mad at that line. It's like, it's the funniest line in the episode, and it wasn't one we wrote.
Is potentially the funniest line in the entire show.
Oh god, now I'm hot. Now it's really hot in
Okay,
here.
well that's your fever. Leslie, I typed your symptoms into the thing up here, and it says you could have network connectivity problems.
Speaking of aging poorly, Lucas, I have sent you just the picture of Asian Ariana Grande in case you didn't believe how Asian she tried to be.
Oh my god! Fucking hell!
That's bad, right?
Right, that I hadn't even seen the Ariana the last race bender one.
The last race bender is fucking fantastic, right?
Oh my! I have no words. Anyway, I'm gonna move on because, dear God.
Because the race bender one is great because they call Asian Ariana Arigato Grande.
So thank you all for watching this episode of Wiki Weekends. I don't know where to go.
This is my favourite
everyone.
gimmick of Wiki Weekends. We get about 30 to 40 minutes in and I say something that you just absolutely lose your shit at and end the episode.
I don't know where to go from here. So I enjoyed School of Rock. I guess I'd recommend it as like one of the better, more wholesome, less awful early 2000s comedies to go back to. And just every time you see Jack Black being an absolute dickhead, just remember like the Kyle Gass incident.
Like, did he really need to do his kneecapping with the golf club before he threw him under the bus? So he laughs at the joke on stage, then the next day he's like, I wholeheartedly condemn this and just dissolve my partnership.
I can't believe that Kyle would say this on stage. He's like, you laughed at the joke. Oh, go watch this instead of the Minecraft movie, everyone. I can guarantee you will have a better time. Well, Carl, it's once again time to just give everyone a shout out for supporting our content.
Yes, and we've got to hurry through the names this month because people have taken to heart the challenge we issued over in our Discord to come up with harder to pronounce and longer names as the name they want us to shout out in this end of video segment.
Yeah, of course. And Carl, I knew this was going to happen at some point of you shot yourself in the foot day one by being like, I'm going to find a funny clip for each of these things.
Yeah, and I'm still going to stick to that gimmick, but the clips might get more and more esoteric as we go along.
But anyway, we have not had anyone. We've had like some min-maxing in terms of length of names and stuff. We've had no one min-max in the alphabetical order yet. So, we've had no like names so far beginning with A or Z to make sure that they get like Aaron A. Aronson into the top of the list.
Yeah, we haven't got anyone who's calling themselves Aaron A. Aronson, but we have got someone calling themselves B of Awesome with 3 B emojis following it, which I didn't even know was an option.
No.
Have you seen that? It's like there's like the iconic like high school yearbook quote where the person's quote is just, "I bet you didn't know this was an option," and like 50 fucking emojis in a row. So you know what? B of Awesome, congratulations with the first person I've ever seen use emojis on Patreon.
Yeah, I didn't know it was an option either, but yeah, B of Awesome followed by 3 little bees emojis.
Hey! Get off my sugar! Bad bees! Bad! Ow! Ow! Oh, they're defending themselves somehow!
I hope next month, if they continue to support us, it's like 10 bees. Just the number of bees grows with each passing month they support us, till they have the veritable bee army.
But speaking of another supporter who has like been helping us out for a while now, we've got the lovely Dan Dilly, and much appreciated support, and hopefully we are now getting that name right.
Yeah, and it's great, because pronouncing it Dilly means that I can put in more clips of Ned Flanders saying Oakley Dokley.
And that's the thing,
or maybe even a clip from that band, that death metal band that dressed like Ned Flanders.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Oakley Dokley. But it's like, oh, kill? Edokily?
Oh, okay.
It's like they're a death metal band, so it's got the word kill in it.
God, yeah. And, to be fair, this doesn't necessarily sound like a metal band, but this name, for some reason, sounds a bit band namey to me, and that is from Fallopian Starship.
I'd listen to their album. I'd listen to their experimental prog rock album, right?
Yeah.
Fallopian Starship is a hell of a name.
Grand Funk Railroad paved the way for Jefferson Airplane, which cleared the way for Jefferson Starship. The stage was now set for
Fallopian Starship,
which I believe was some sort of hovercraft.
That is followed closely by Judge Dredd. And I'm scared, but I am glad that I get to put in more clips of the Judge Dredd movie. My favourite part is where it's like, how do people not know the Judge Dredd movie was a parody when he uses white phosphorus indoors?
Yeah, I mean, I guess people just go, oh, that's sick as fuck, like they did with Call of Duty, right?
Yeah.
Incendiary.
But yeah, I'm always happy to put in more clips of Judge Dredd. And Lucas, should we both tackle this next name?
Oh, maybe we have to, because someone did literally min-max the character limit. They took that challenge seriously.
They did, and that person is Kicking Bucket Nose and Laments. The character limit for a Patreon display name is only 128 character. But it's like the R is cut off, so they ran out of letters at the last second.
I appreciate going as far as just not even finishing the word. Just fuck it, I've hit the character limit, we're done.
Well, listen to this one.
Kicking Bucket Nose and Laments. The character limit for a Patreon display name is only 128 character.
Ah, you didn't know I'm gonna say that, did you?
Yep, I'm just gonna type until Patreon tells me I can't type anymore. And who do we have next, my friend?
Someone who did not do that, but the support is still much appreciated, is Lam de Llama.
That's a hell of a name. That's great, because I put in a clip of a llama for that one.
Even though it's not spelt like llama, but I hope it's pronounced like llama. It looks like it should be, but I just like...
Oh, no, wait, mate.
The fact that...
Lucas, I could put in the clip, the llamas with hats. No!
Okay. When anyone says anything about llamas, my brain still just goes to Emperor's New Groove.
Okay, for me, because my name's Karl, it's just llamas with hats. The amount of times where I had a friend who would just call me on Xbox Live and just go, Karl, every time. It was never funny.
What happened to his
Lam de Llama?
Why are they missing?
Well, I kind of cooked them up and ate them.
Karl!
The next person we've got to shout out is, of course, Little Ghost.
I like that, Little Ghost.
Just a Little Ghost.
That's an album for a solo artist, right? Little Ghost.
Just I like that. Just Little Ghost. Thank you. It's much appreciated.
That's the thing. Is the ghost far away, or is it just really little?
Or, just like that Tamagotchi Life trailer where it's like, oh, they actually were big. They were just very far away.
Really far away, and you just hear the ground rumbling underneath. Well, the next person we have to shout out is Lucille de Steele. That's a name. That's a superhero name.
Yeah.
That's like the kind of name that like Superman should have to be more on the nose, right? Like Desteel.
Desteel, like.
Clark, this is important. You can get your mail later.
Yeah, but I'm expecting my cheese of the month shipment. I'll be right back.
Or you could just, I don't know whether it's any kind of like One Piece reference where a lot of the main characters have like D as their middle name. And they're like, you know, people that matter kind of thing. But anyway, I won't get into spoilers for that. We next have to, of course, thank Tam McKee.
Yes, and like we are shouting you out, but you don't have a funny name.
Well, no,
So-
it's like that's like the Clark Kent, right? Of just like having an actual just normal name.
Or imagine being able to be magically whisked away to Delaware. Hi, I'm in Delaware.
And you know, the support and the help is still appreciated, but it's hard to riff on just someone's name.
It is.
Unless your name's like Smallwood like mine, then people can make fun of it all they want, right?
I was going to say, without just taking the piss out of people, right? Like, maybe it's one of those. But, you know, either way, as we say, the support is appreciated whether or not we can, like, riff on a silly name.
Yes, and speaking of riffing on a silly name, we have one final person to shout out, that is Woo Won King Day Willy Wonka Fondue Way to Make Day... This is spelled awkward. I'm going to put the spelling on screen. Woo Won King Day Willy Wonka Fondue Way to Make the Name Longer. And it does say the name. It's like the name.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'm pronouncing all of that correctly.
Now, D nice.
Do you mean Denise?
Son of a bitch. You say your name right now.
Denise?
Say it right.
Denise.
Correctly.
Denise.
Right.
Denise.
Right.
D-nice.
That's better. Thank you.
And I do appreciate they picked up that gauntlet I threw down and smacked me across the fucking face with it.
They did indeed. Just trying to make Carl's life that little bit harder, but thank you to everyone for your support. Like, you making, like, literally extra content happen, and you're keeping those wheels spinning, so it's...
You are indeed, yes.
It's really, really
I look
great.
forward to next month, when, like, as I said, people start putting kanji and shit in their names, and I've got to try and pronounce that. And what if someone's put like hieroglyphics or something, or like interpretive dance, or like put their name as like a series of instructions?
I do like that Carl keeps trying to make his life harder, because he's the one who, like, you know, edits this bit and puts all the clips in and stuff, and Carl, you know what, fuck me up.
Well, that's what I appreciate the challenge, and hopefully we've risen to a challenge so far, so I look forward to seeing what our fans over on Patreon do for us next.
Hell goddamn yeah. Thank you one last final time for your support.
Yes. Go out there and have a great day. Thank you very much.
Cheers.